Shalom.
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 What is that?
What, Josh? Go ahead, brother.
Shalom out there. This is Voice of Watchman on the Shabbat again. We do thank the Most High, Ahayah, bahashem Yashayah, Barak, Kadash, for another opportunity to
Thank
go
you,
into
Joshua.
the Bible,
Yes.
to go into His Word, to see what He has to say, for today.
What an awesome day it is to rest, not knowing that you don't have to go out there and serve all work, to try to make money and sweat. And there is a great opportunity for anybody who's coming into understanding. If you really can't keep Saturday, then there's no excuse for Friday, right? Friday night starts the Sabbath. So Friday night when the sun goes down, listen to us or go to someone that you prefer to listen to and keep the law, keep the Sabbath. Remember, it starts Friday night when the sun goes down, Saturday night when the sun goes down. The government and the world leaders have made it almost impossible for many people not to work on Saturday. They've forced people to actually, strained families all over the world to work. Women are not supposed to work. They're really not, but they're working. They have to because
The way the world has made it, where
go ahead, Josh.
women can now technically make more money than a man. So
That's the feminism to Rockefeller, right? Go ahead, Josh.
we're going to go through another lesson on our lessons on the epistles of the Apostle Paul.
I think we're in 1 Corinthians chapter 7.
So
we like to speak a little tonight too to our viewers. And,
since a lot of 1 Corinthians 7 is concerning marriage, this would be a good time to talk about marriage. Marriage is misunderstood in the way that people understand how you enter into marriage according to the Most High. Tradition in the Western world has conditioned us to believe a marriage is a religious ceremony when biblically it has nothing to do with a pastor, a priest, a rabbi, or a judge.
Correct. That's right.
In actuality, marriage licenses are not biblical. They're nowhere in the Bible does it say to get a marriage license. Now, divorce licenses are even divorce licenses aren't biblical because the Most High didn't command Moses or the Israelites to divorce.
Because the hardening of the heart.
So,
the
because of the hardening, go to that Matthew 19. Matthew chapter 19, let's start at the top. 1. Matthew 19 and 1.
Okay.
Let's get some understanding. Now, I want to start here because this is what Christ said about marriage. Because if we're going to follow Christ, we have to follow what He said about marriage.
Right.
What He said about marriage and how He views marriage by itself.
Excuse me, we're not home, but we feel a little relaxed because it is the Sabbath. It's really good to just hit the brakes and worship and reflect and remembering the Sabbath is so important. Okay, Josh. Matthew 19,
verse 1.
Matthew 19, verse 1. And it came to pass that when Yashayah had finished these sayings, he departed from Galilee and came into the coast of Judea, beyond Jordan, or Judea. And great multitudes followed him, and he healed them there. The Pharisees also came unto him, tempting him, and saying unto him, Is it lawful for a man to put away his wife
Now,
for every cause?
the reason it says that they were tempting the Messiah is they knew that they knew, according to the history of the Israelites, these Pharisees who were predominantly not Israelites,
Go ahead, John.
they knew, according to the history, that Moses added the law of divorce to the Bible, to the commandments.
That's right.
Originally, from Adam to the time that Moses added that to the law, there was no such thing as divorce, and it should never be divorce.
Wow. And he answered and said unto them, have ye not read?
Have ye not read? So he's saying to the Pharisees who should know the law, read.
Come on. That he which made them at the beginning made them male and female.
Male and what?
Male and male.
Male and what?
Female.
Male and female, read.
And said, for this cause shall a man leave father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife.
Cleave to his husband.
Cleave to his wife.
Right?
And they
So be
twain
it.
shall be one.
That's right. So read that verse over.
5.
Yes.
Mary.
And said, for this cause shall a man leave father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife.
Now what does cleave? Now cleave means being one in mind, spirit, and one between each other. That's speaking about a spiritual union, that they're cleaved together. Read.
And they twain
In other words, the two bodies.
shall be one flesh.
Now, how do two bodies? Now, what Christ does is he puts the spiritual side of the relationship first. The two people have to have a spiritual union before they become one flesh. What does one flesh mean? Christ was saying that when a man and a woman have sex with one another, again, the way the Israelites in the Bible viewed marriage is not the way we have been taught in European American society.
That's right.
Sex is marriage. Christ just said it. If you understand what two flesh and come together means, if you study that and looked at up in the Greek, what that means is conjugal union or sexual union.
That's right.
So Christ is saying that the sexual union is marriage.
Awesome.
Now, if you want to have a wedding, that has nothing, that's not wrong, but the wedding itself has nothing to do with you being married. That's just a celebration of that is merely a celebration of a sexual act. So
Awesome. That's great.
read verse 6.
Okay. Mary. Wherefore
they are no more twain.
So they are no more two
One.
people.
No, one.
Once they are spiritually united, and once they are physically united through sex, read.
But therefore Ahayah has joined together, but no man put asunder.
So what the Most High has truly brought together, let no man separate it. Read.
They say unto him, why did Moses then command to give a writing of divorcement and
So
to put her away?
because they were trying to look. Here's what Christ is against divorce. These Pharisees were teaching the Israelites to use divorcement as an excuse to sleep with other women.
Wow.
So they were teaching these Israelites to look for an excuse to commit adultery. Read.
Okay. He saith unto them, Moses, because of the hardness of your mind or your heart.
So Moses, not under the commandment of God, but because of your ancestors, read.
suffered you to put away.
Suffered you. So God didn't suffer you to do that. A man told you to do that. God didn't tell you to do that.
Wow, to put away your wife. That's right. And that's a sin too when a man tries to make you get divorced. And I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication. In other words, you separate, you don't divorce, and shall marry another, committed adultery. And whoso marrieth her, which is put away, doth commit adultery.
Now let's go to Genesis 24.
So it goes for the man and woman.
Genesis 24, verse 62.
Okay, Genesis 62.
So we see according to Christ that he said the two are one. In other words, they're one in spirit and mind. Then they become one flesh. In other words, what that means is when like I just said, when two people, a man and a woman, have sex the first time, if they are truly meant for each other and if they're in love, they have commitment. I'm not saying whoever you lay with, you're married to. No. That's not.
That's right.
You have to be
committed
and in love and willing to spend the rest of your. If you're not, I'll say this: if you're not willing to spend the rest of your life with that person, don't lay with them.
That's right. That's it, Josh.
Because you're just going to be a whoremonger and a fornicator.
Right.
Now, fornication don't mean sex before marriage. Fornication and whoremongering are the same difference.
Awesome. That's right.
So,
okay, ready? Genesis 24, 62.
Right.
And Isaac came from the way of the well, La Haroi, for he dwelt in the south country. And Isaac went out to meditate in the field.
So what was he went out to pray and to speak to the Most High,
right? In the field at the eventide.
So isn't it amazing that a lot of the great things in the Bible happen at the break of night or the break of day?
Yeah, I brought a message on that once, Josh.
That's a special, like a very spiritual time.
It is.
It seems to be in the Bible.
The battles of the heavenlies too take place. Yeah. And Isaac went out to meditate in the field at the eventide, and he lifted up his eyes and saw, and behold, the camels were coming. And Rebekah lifted up her eyes, and when she saw Isaac, she lighted off the camel. Mary?
What?
65.
For she had said unto the servant, what man is this that walketh in the field to meet us? And the servant had said, it is as my master, therefore she took.
It is my master. Okay.
Right. Go on, Mom.
Go ahead.
My master.
Go ahead, therefore.
Veiled and covered herself.
Right. So this is what the Bible in the New Testament talk about shamefacedness. Women in the Bible, before they would look on a man, usually they would cover their faces.
Wow.
They wouldn't, because that's shamefacedness and humility. Okay.
Awesome.
This next verse is key. Read.
Okay. It is my master. Therefore, sorry, she read that. I'm sorry.
No, you can read the last part. I like that.
It is my master. Therefore, she took a veil and covered herself. And the servant told Isaac all things that he had done. And Isaac brought her into.
No, he brought her to the church.
And Isaac brought her into his.
He brought him to the priest.
And Isaac brought her.
No, the Pentecostal preacher.
And Isaac brought her into his mother Sarah's tent.
And did what?
And took Rebekah. They had sex, and she became his wife.
Now,
and he loved her.
Are we saying it's wrong to go to a church to have a ceremony? Are we saying if that's the are you somehow not cursed if you did that in a church? No. What we're saying is by bringing this
biblically,
this example out from the Bible before we touch on our lesson about marriage in the seventh chapter of 1 Corinthians is the way you have been taught to understand marriage and a wedding is not biblical. A wedding, and Dad, get the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, please. Right. This is a very good resource that we like to use here to pull out certain definitions according to the Bible.
How you say that is? You leave?
Right?
Yeah.
This is the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. So we just read in the Bible am I going to ask my father to read the definition of a wedding? If you will, Dad.
Yeah.
Wedding.
Okay, wedding.
This is the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. You should get this and add this to your biblical study resources.
Really, really good. Yes, sir. Okay.
Read wedding.
Wedding. Zondervan Bible.
Uh-huh.
Dictionary. Okay. Wedding. Marriage customs in the Bible center around the two events of betrothal and wedding. The wedding itself did not.
The wedding itself did not include a what?
A religious ceremony.
So it did not include a preacher,
That's
a priest,
right.
a reverend, a rabbi.
Come on.
So all that stuff you do in a church is not based on the Bible. That is tradition.
That's right. Although it is probable that the betrothal was ratified by an oath.
Right.
An oath, that's all. Not a place.
The bride, start at the bottom. The bride,
Okay.
the bridegroom.
All right, ready? All right. The bridegroom attended by friends and accompanied by musicians and singers.
So what was this? This was a private party between the man and the woman. Read.
Okay. Went to the bride's house, Matthew 25:7, and then after receiving her from her parents with their blessing, he conducted the whole party back to his own home. On the way, other friends of the bride and groom joined the party, and there was much music and dancing.
So as we understand.
So where's there a hall, all that money?
As we understand, a man would have a ceremony. Now, a lot of people don't do this. A lot of people, what people do today is they meet a woman, they fall in love with each other, and what they do, they rent a hotel room. Now, whether they have the ceremonial wedding part of it, what they do in that together, if they come together, they're married.
That's right.
So is it now if you want to have, so a lot of people, the majority of people are technically married way before they even have a wedding. Today. Excuse me. Read.
Okay. And a feast was held at the bridegroom's house. Later in the evening, the bride's parents escorted her to the nuptial chamber, Genesis 29:23, while he was led there by his friends of the bride's parents.
Now,
that's great.
We didn't, in this first example of a marriage and a wedding, we don't read really none of that, because what we read in the first account of a marriage, and technically the first account of a marriage is in Genesis, when Adam and Eve came together. There was no preacher, there was no priest, so they were married. Why? Because they slept together. So if you take a general study of what marriage is, you will find that marriage is intercourse. The way a marriage is entered into according to the Bible is intercourse.
That's right.
Now, the way you must understand that you have to be, there has to, like I said before, if the two people are not committed to one another, then don't bother laying down with them, because you're wasting your time.
Yeah.
If you're not,
There has to be a commitment.
Committed.
Right. That's good, Josh.
So
get this dictionary. It's really, really good. There's some awesome stuff that we have researched in it. It's really good.
Marriage
is an intimate, personal union.
Intimate religious union.
Intimate, personal union.
So the operative word so far is
nobody involved but the two.
Personal.
That's
so
right.
It is a committed personal union
to which a man and woman consent. Consummated.
Wait, consummated or entered into. So
continuously.
So marriage is consummated, or in other words, the consummated is a word for entered into. So how is a marriage entered into? Read.
And continuously nourished by sexual intercourse.
So marriage is entered into by sex.
That's right.
According to the Bible, and the way what we just read in Exodus Exodus 24. Mary. Isaac took took Rebecca into his mother's tent and took her, and they became husband and wife.
That's it.
In other words, he took and slept with her, and they became husband and wife. Now let's go to Genesis 26.
All right.
20, I think.
20? Okay. 26:20? Okay. Right. And the herdmen of Gerar did strive with Isaac's herdmen, saying, the water is ours. And he called the name of the well.
Hold on.
This is not good. Come on. Or just you got this tonight? No, you just want to go through it? We'll go to Corinthians. We got a whole chapter yet.
Genesis 29:21.
All right, that's it. All right, Genesis 29. All right, guys, viewers.
Genesis 29:21.
Okay. All right, everybody. And Jacob said unto Laban, give me my wife, for my days are fulfilled, that I may go in unto her.
So in other words, he was already in love with her, but they hadn't slept together, so they weren't husband and wife yet.
Right.
Read.
And Laban gathered together all the men of the place and made a feast. Mary, you want to read 23?
Wait, so
hold on.
Just like we read in the definition of a wedding, Laban, the cousin of the uncle of Jacob, made a feast for Jacob. Read.
It came to pass in the evening that he took Leah, his daughter and brought her to him, and he went into her.
Unto her, right.
Into her.
And Laban gave unto his daughter Leah Ziplah, his maid, for a handmaid. And it came to pass that in the morning, behold, it was Leah. And he said to Laban, or Laban, what is this that thou hast done unto me? Did not I serve with thee for
So
Rachel?
the whole point of it is
That's right.
when they slept together, they were united, they were married. So again, even in this showing of marriage, you don't see a priest, a pastor, a religious, or a judge.
It's a personal union between two people. Okay, so you want to go to Corinthians? Or?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go to Corinthians.
1 Corinthians 7.
Chapter 7. We've been going through the epistles how long now, Josh? Well, a good 2 years, only a year, at least a year, right? 5 years?
A couple months.
Oh, more than that.
About 18 months.
No, not that long. You're right, about a year. Less than a year. Something like that. I know it's been a while. Okay, so join in because we go through the epistles and we do the best we can with the leading of the Holy Spirit. Okay, Kadash. So, all right. Problems concerning marriage.
Read.
Now concerning the things whereof ye wrote unto me.
Mm-hmm.
It is good for a man not to touch a woman.
So, read.
Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife.
So what Paul is saying is, if you have the fortitude within yourself, then you don't. To avoid sexual union, you can not sleep with a woman. But to avoid fornication, a man and a woman should have intercourse. They should be married. Read.
Okay. And let every woman have her own husband.
Read.
Let the husband render unto the wife due benevolence.
In other words, respect, and if the man is in need,
the
woman should give.
And likewise also the wife unto the husband.
In other words, if she wants it, the man has to give it up.
That's right. The wife hath not power of her own body.
In other words, they
but the
are
husband.
one in everything,
That's
including sex.
But the husband.
Read.
Right. And likewise also the husband hath not power of his own body, but the wife.
Read.
Defraud ye not one the other.
Read.
Except it be with consent for a time. And ye may give yourselves to fasting and prayer, and come together again, that Satan tempt you not for your inconsistency.
Read.
But I speak this by permission, and not of commandment. For I would that all men were even as I myself. See, so Paul lived without. But, for I would that all men were even as I myself. But every man hath his proper gift of the Most High.
So
one after this manner.
Paul was gifted
Right.
in that way where he didn't have to touch a woman. He was just so completely sold out that he didn't probably have the desire.
Yeah, I believe that. Okay, Mary 8.
You didn't finish 7.
Oh, okay. For I would that all men were even as I myself, but every man hath his proper gift of Ahayah, one after this manner and another after that.
I say therefore to the unmarried and widow, it is good for them if they abide even as one,
As I.
as I. But if they cannot contain, let them marry, so they can get married.
Good.
For it is better to marry than to burn.
Okay. So burning here must mean a desire so burning in you that you have to be married if you have that burning. And unto the married I command ye not, I, but the Most High. Let not the wife depart from her husband. And if she depart, let her remain unmarried or be reconciled to her husband.
Mm-hmm.
And let not the husband put away his wife.
So no divorcing, read.
Right. But to the rest speak I, not the Most High. Now this is his opinion. If any brother hath a wife that believeth not, and she be pleased to dwell with him, let him not put her away. And the woman which hath a husband that believeth not, and if he be pleased, now this is the story I tell you. Remember, two people in love don't even go to church. Be pleased to dwell with her, let her not leave him. Now you see what pastors do. They make
Start that verse over.
They make him commit adultery. Why, Josh?
Start that verse over.
In 12.
Mm-hmm.
But to the rest speak I, not the Most High. If any brother hath a wife that believeth not, and she be pleased to dwell with him, let him not put her away. And the woman which hath a husband that believeth not, and if he be pleased to dwell with her, let her not leave him.
Mm-hmm.
For the unbeliever husband is sacrificed.
Sanctified. Come on.
Sanctified by his wife.
That's all right, Mary. Yeah.
The unbelieving wife sanctified by her husband.
Right.
Else were your children unclean, but now
Wow.
are they holy?
Are they holy?
But if the unbeliever departs, let him depart. A brother or a sister is not more under bondage.
No, stop. Well, listen to this. Listen to this. A brother, Israelite, or a sister is not under bondage in such cases. But Ahayah hath called us to peace. So in other words, you're going to have a lot of problems if you break up. There's going to be a lot of turmoil. Only trouble can come out of that. But if you can stay together, there's peace.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not in bondage to leave each other. You can. But the best way to do that is to stay unmarried. For what knowest thou, O wife, whether thou shalt save thy husband? Or how knowest thou, O man, whether thou shalt save thy wife? But as Ahayah hath distributed to every man, as the Most High hath called every one, so let him walk, and so ordain I in all churches. Okay, so that's what you're seeing in churches, Tony. You're seeing people come in who love each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just what we read tonight. And those pastors are told by unlearned people in the church that there's a couple in your church that don't have pagan rings on and they're not married. And they get them to marry other people that are divorced and their husbands and wives are still alive. And you know that's going on.
If any man called be circumcised, let him not become uncircumcised.
Mm-hmm.
If any call in uncircumcision, let him not be circumcised. Circumcision is nothing, and uncircumcision is nothing.
That's right.
But the keeping of the commandments of Ahayah.
So the keeping of the commandments of the Most High. Well, no, they're done away with.
Read that again. But
the keeping of the commandments
of man's commandments.
Of the commandments of Ahayah.
Of the preacher.
Of Ahayah.
Of who?
Of the Most High.
Mm.
Let every man abide in the same calling wherein he was called.
Right.
Art thou called being a servant? Care not for it.
Mm-hmm.
But if thou mayest be made free, use it rather. For he that is called in the Most High, being a servant, is the Most High's free man. Likewise, also he that is called, being free, is Yashayah's servant. Ye will get married.
Ye are bought with a price.
Uh-huh.
Ye not ye the servant of man.
Wow.
Brethren, let every man wherein he is called, therein abide
with the Most High. See?
Read.
You see all this religion going on in the church?
Now concerning virgins, I have no commandment of the Yashayah or Messiah that I give my judgment as one that has obtained mercy of the Messiah to be faithful.
I suppose, therefore, that this is good for the present distress. I say that it is good for a man so to be. Art thou bound unto a wife? Seek not to be loosed. Art thou loosed from a wife? Seek not a wife. See, you know what Paul's saying in here? Because just what we read up in here. If you are told in your church that you can go marry a woman because you were divorced and that husband is still alive, you're committing adultery. You're going to have to repent every time you have sex with her.
But and
Go ahead.
thou married,
Mm-hmm.
thou hast not sinned.
Mm.
As if a virgin marries, she has not sinned. Nevertheless, such shall have trouble in the flesh.
That's
but
right.
I spare you. But this I say, brethren, the time is short. It remaineth that both they that have wives be as though they had none.
That's right. Except they weep. Well, wait, hold on. Wait. And they that weep as though they weep not. And they that rejoice as though they rejoice not. And they that buy as though they possess not. And they that use this world as not abusing it, for the fashion of this world passeth away.
But I would have you without carefully.
In other words, be careful.
He that is unmarried
careth
for the things that belong to the Yashayah.
That's right.
How he may please the Yashayah.
But he that is married careth for the things that are of the world, how he may please his wife.
There is a difference.
There is difference.
There is difference also between a wife and a virgin. The unmarried woman careth for the things of Mashiach, that she may be holy both in body and in spirit.
Wow.
But she that is married careth for the things of the world, how she may please her husband.
See, and this I speak for your own profit, not that I may cast a snare upon you, but for that which is commonly. In other words, it's just a common thing for you to be, thankful that you have a wife and you can have things for her. That's what he's saying, and that ye may attend upon the Most High without distraction. Mm-hmm. So that's good. I mean, it works. Folks, it works both ways.
So, like Paul's example,
mm-hmm.
he was able to not to touch a woman because he was so driven to do what he was doing.
There you go. So that wasn't wrong. But guess what? Nobody, even Yashayah said it, right? If all the books in the world, you couldn't even count the things I've done. So that goes for all his followers then too. We don't know. Definitely don't know Paul, his private life. I don't believe that he would put that in there and live another way.
I don't believe it either.
I don't either. Because I've heard that in Christianity. He had, all the women he knew and all that, that has really no bearing in anything. If it's, I believe what the word says, I just wanted to bring that out real quick, because there are even people in the Christian church today that say that Christ had sex, he had sex with people, with other women, with prostitutes, this and that. I've heard it all before, Tony, But you know what? Once we step in that realm, that's a pretty dangerous place to be trodden, isn't it?
Yeah. You're 36, I think.
What, Tony?
36 in?
What, verse 36?
Yeah.
Is that where we are already? All right, listen to this. Okay, but I'll wait for Josh. I'll wait for you, Josh. All right, but if any man think that he behaveth himself uncommonly, in other words, he's not really doing it out of love for the world, using the world to please her, toward his virgin. Now, see, when they see the word virgin, a virgin means a young married woman at a marital age. If she passed the flower of her age, and need so require. Let him do what he will. He sinneth not. Let them marry.
Nevertheless, he that standeth steadfast in the heart.
In his mind, heart, okay?
No necessity,
No necessity, okay?
but have power over his
His,
own will, and have no
and had so decreed.
and has so decreed in his heart, that he will keep his virgin.
Do it.
Well.
That's right.
So then, he that giveth her in marriage doeth well, but he that giveth her not in marriage doeth better.
Okay, see that? The wife is bound by the law. Watch this. The wife is bound by the law as long as her husband liveth. You hear that? Let me say it again. The wife is bound by the law. We keep the law, don't we? Okay. As long as her husband liveth. But if her husband be dead, she is at liberty to be married to whom she will. Only in the Most High. But she is happier if she so abides, stay single. After my judgment, after his judgment, and I think also that I have the spirit of the Most High. So you know what Paul was saying, what I'm saying, I'm hearing from the Most High.
Exactly.
So that confirms just what we were saying before. Put away that evil thinking when people tell you that Christ did this and all that junk, and the disciples, we don't know them. And these men lived holy. And that's why they died the way they died. I want to say something just for a minute. I believe the Christian church today, it is so deceptive and so much sin in it that they do not want to die, Josh. They want to live for this world. They want to be loved by the world. That's how I'm seeing the Christian church. We're not supposed to go around being hated, saying things to people that hate us, Tony. Wrong things, hey, stupid. Hey, you're ugly. Let me just say, I don't use those words. You know what I mean? To start trouble. No. But you know the rest.
So we say shalom then.
Shalom.
Shalom.